as we shift into the main event, man,
Mm.
this was,
Mm.
I mean, it honestly, at times I was speechless. This was outstanding main event. It's everything you wanted and then some. It was all over the place. You got you went all the way over all the arena.
Oh,
But I'm glad to see Kenny Omega's entrance back, which is some of the best, and even the announcers say some of the most, arrogant entrances or whatever. He has 30. I wrote down some comments. 38 victories, the most anyone on the roster. His biggest WTF moment was at a Wild Wing Cafe in North Carolina. So, his entrances are to me some of the best to date in AEW, just because of the hyping of himself.
mm-hmm.
And then, I mean, Justin Roberts, we talk about him a lot. Just the way he can put chills on your arms, make the hair on your neck stand up because of what he can do. As Kenny Omega, as Jon Moxley are both outstanding. And when Jon Moxley came out, it was we're seeing the belt, the belt on his shoulder.
Love that.
It's like gold versus gold, and I don't know, man. This match delivered so much for me.
Well, yeah. Let me ask you a question though. Before we go into it further, and I'll get the elite or delete out of you. But this was really your first time. Your first time seeing Kenta in action, right? I mean, I know that for me, I've seen him in New Japan, and I've definitely saw him in NXT. What were your takeaways? Obviously, there's so much action and there's so much craziness going on. So I understand that maybe, as a Lance Archer and Kenny Omega fan, you might have had your attention more dialed into the violence that they had going on.
Yep.
But just your quick takeaways on what you saw out of Kenta.
So the turning point to me, which I'm sure was for most people, was when he did the double stomp off the stage onto Moxley on the table, the ring announcer's table. That was an unexpected and brutal move. But yes, to start things off, when you have the star power of Kenny and Archer and Mox in the ring, Kenta, to me, kind of faded away in the back. And especially with Archer doing that slow turn and that look. I tweeted it out for us. I said, when Kenta hit him with the briefcase, if someone turned around that slow with that look, I'd be running as fast as I could, as far away as I could, because you made a big mistake.
Especially the size of Lance Archer,
Yeah,
no doubt.
For sure. So, but he did impress me. I need to see more of him.
Mm-hmm.
I want to see him more in a singles action match that is in between the ropes. That being said, I'm not talking about Kenta this match at all. I'm talking about Lance Archer.
I'm not surprised to hear that.
I think that more deep.
I don't think that anybody should be, because the Murder Hawks trajectory. I mean, dude, this guy has been on fire, and we don't want to beat a dead horse here, but I think that there are certain performers that you can really tell are when everything's clicking.
Yep.
You can tell, and you can see it with Lance right now. Everything's clicking with him, man. His character work is on point. Yep. There's a confidence to his game right now. You could tell that he sees it's working. It's connecting with the fans. I don't blame you for walking away and again trying to. I know that there's a lot of buzz around the New Japan crossover with Kenta and Mox and that feud. But I don't blame you as an AEW fan for saying, like, all right, that's awesome. I'm excited for it. But let's not just forget about what we already have here. And I think that, sometimes we can be prisoners of the moment and just latch on to the newest hot thing and forget about what we already have. And what we already have is, a 6'9", bad dude who can, truly manhandle people who can do. I mean, his offense, his vest tonight. I love that, the studded, the studded vest that he had. His look is on point. No, dude, I'm with you. I understand your love for Lance. One of the things I will say, and I hope that you do get to see Kenta more in a more traditional role.
I'll watch the Moxley Kenta match. I can't wait for that.
As you should. I think that you're going to see. I know that you're somebody who always is like when you talk about making an offense look real, making that the you enjoy a stiff chop, you enjoy a knee strike that makes you wince. I don't need to see, and it was nice. I mean, there was a lot of violence. I don't need to see potatoes and baking sheets and tables and all this stuff, right? Like
Or the
you don't
Dippin' Dots.
you don't need that. It's nice once in a while, but at its core, we love wrestling. And
Yep.
Kenta's strikes, he brings that strong style. I think you'll appreciate his knee strikes, his kicks. Kenta's kicks are world renowned. He's just that kind of dude. And I think he delivers a go to sleep. That, and I'll say it. I mean, I love CM Punk, but I think his go to sleep it makes CM Punk's look weak. Kenta drives the knee into your face. You'll catch some of those go to sleeps from Kenta that make you feel like he might have broke someone's jaw, literally. So I think that Kenta will bring a strong showing against Mox in a more traditional role. And we know Mox, man, that dude from day one in AEW, since his breakthrough performance, ever since his breakthrough against Kenny when he debuted, Mox has had countless memorable performances. So I have no doubt that he and Kenta will put on a clinic. But the way this is starting to break up SPD, you got Kenta and Mox in one corner, and you got the Murder Hawk and Kenny in the other.
We talked about it on Friday Night Fights.
Are we building towards seeing the Murder Hawk versus Kenny for the title?
I hope so. And, booking by Bonds, our third member, Dynamite Download, who does our column, we kind of worked through this, hot take together on last week's Friday Night Flights and Fights, how we see the Murder Hawk monster kind of feuding with Kenny. And ultimately, we don't want to see the Murder Hawk lose another title match necessarily cleanly. And then maybe we can have Eddie Kingston cost him that match and then reignite that feud. So it doesn't necessarily drop him down or make him look weak at all. I think that is brilliant booking by Bonds and us. I think that would be an outstanding short-term feud right now, or long-term. I don't know how long you can drag it out with Kenny and Archer, and then reignite the Eddie, because that all that is just pure gold.
Yeah.
Man. I mean,
we talked about it.
Yeah.
I mean, Eddie is not going to go away quietly. Yes, he lost the last match to Lance, but they're tied 1-1. And I think that Murder Hawk has moved on, but I love the idea. And I think that, Lance is clearly emerging as a legitimate contender for the world title. And so I think that, this was a showcase tonight. As Moxley said, this one was for fun. I think there was a lot of fun. There was a lot that happened in tonight's match. SPD wasn't an elite out of you. Is this going to be another clean sweep episode of Dynamite for you? A pure positive, pure elite?
I don't want to say I'm an easy pleaser, but I'm giving it an elite because, I mean, how could you not with the star power in this? And some of my favorite wrestlers with Kenny Omega, Lance Archer, and Jon Moxley in the ring. But we have both grown to really try to find a silver lining and try to find the positives. That's what we're growing as a brand, Dynamite Download, to find the positive of a match.
Yeah.
You could easily say, oh, this match sucked. Oh, whatever, they won. This person didn't do this. It was boring. But then you can pull back the curtain and dive a little deeper and be like, wow, you saw the growth of Lee Johnson. You saw the growth of a Joey Janela. You saw the growth of Darby Allin, legit Layla Hirsch. Like, you saw the growth of these. Okay, yes, these are, you could say, oh, they're dark talent, they're undercard talent. But everyone starts somewhere, and you don't have veterans putting you on a televised show where millions see you ultimately for a reason, unless they see something in you. And the vision of AEW is one that I believe in and support. This match, was all over the place. There were some amazing moments that told so many stories. I mean, the whole Peter and ruining his bed. That part was hilarious. Then going through the kitchen and,
Yep.
being able to be a taped show. I liked how they were like, oh, some of the highlights of the match, they can, kind of go back to that. That's the difference between live and taped, to be able to successfully do a match like this. But this match definitely was an elite, and this match was just another showcase of how badass Lance Archer is. I mean, that guy was just going on a wrecking crew. The announcers were putting him over. Even Don Callis was just saying how strong he was and how it took 4 men to take down Archer. Ultimately, you got Kenny and the Good Brothers and Kenta. He was not going down easy. He's not getting a roll up pin. He's not getting a go to sleep to end it. It took all hands on deck to put down Archer to seal the victory, and he looked so strong, and he was just doing some amazing stuff. Kenny, all guys shined in some part of this match. I really loved that the fireman's carry onto the rope moonsault with the trash can that Kenny was doing. It was really, really entertaining stuff, and I hope this is just the appetizer of what's to come with some of these people.
Yeah, I love. I mean, I love hearing you go on. I mean, I really do, man. I love hearing you talk about the Murder Hawk, because it's obvious that, like, before he came onto the scene at AEW, you didn't even know who Lance Archer really was. I mean, that's
true,
okay,
and I'll admit
right?
that.
No, there's nothing wrong with that. I think that's the beautiful thing, is that I think that you've become, in throughout this time in AEW, you become such a huge fan of his, and I think that that's a testimony to the work that he's put in, the booking that the company has done. Lance has made a huge fan out of SPD, and I think that
Definitely.
like, you're not alone. I don't think that you're alone in that. I think that Lance's body of work is when you reflect back on it, it's going to be very impressive. But I think that even he would admit this is something unique for him. In the North American side of, like, he's back home, and the work that he put in New Japan is paying off. It's a beautiful thing to see. This is another example of the wrestler's journey, man. Like, 15 years ago, he was not the same man that he is now. And I think that he would even say, like, he wouldn't be ready for this back then, but he is now. And it's obvious that he's ready. It's obvious that he's chomping at the bit. It's obvious that he's putting in all the work, all the like, he's sacrificed so much to get to this point, and he's not letting it slip through his fingers, bro. I mean, like, Lance Archer looks like a man who sees everything that he wants right within his grasp, and he's fighting like that. He's fighting like somebody who will not go down without a fight, right? I love that. It's pretty incredible that out of, with the star power that was in this match, that we're talking about Lance in this way. And I think that that's a testimony to what they've done with him. I mean, we were worried about Lance.
Yeah.
And what was going to happen after he lost to Mox in the way that he did. And so I think that, again, this is a beautiful example of what AEW's done and what he's done. I mean, this dude looks like an absolute wrecking ball. That said, Kenny's got to get some due in this match too, man. Kenny's putting on, not just in this match, but Kenny is truly putting on some incredible work as champion. I think that you've been beating the drum for him to have a nice long title reign.
Yeah, he's my favorite. He's top of my list, man.
If you continue to do stuff like this, and you continue to, I think we're still trying to figure out, like, how we feel about the Good Brothers.
Right.
But if their role in this whole scenario is to further drive Kenny's descent into scumbag heel territory, when we as fans know he's so damn good that he doesn't need to cheat, he doesn't need to have people interfering for him to win, he doesn't need that.
For sure.
It makes it even that much more frustrating, because you were like, man, you're so good, you don't need to do this,
Yep.
So it it's compelling storytelling in that regard. I mean, it really is. I mean, it makes you detest the Good Brothers that much more. This match, without a doubt, is an elite. And actually, this is an example, bro. We gave this show an elite across the board, which, man, going in.